Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Emerge. I'm your host, Tiffany Boyle, and this week we will be discussing with Dorothea how to make a divine decision and hear Deshana's 2 cents about finances. OMG, everyone. June is National DJ Month, and we are talking with 2 amazing DJs today. A DJ is a person who introduces and plays recorded popular music on the radio, right? But as you will find out today, they are so much more than that. A DJ can make or break your event, your wedding, your birthday party, your retirement party. Think about it. DJs are there to celebrate every milestone event that we have. And today, we learn how these 2 DJs, DJ Lonnie B and DJ B, started and emerged. But before we get into those topics, join me, Tiffany Boyle, in the CEO Corner. So now you've made it to the CEO Corner, the only place where you will get tips on how to live your best CEO life and emerge to the next level. And I'm not going to take long because I know we all want to talk with the famous DJs in celebration for National DJ Month. But first, we have to get down to business. That always comes first. CEOs, what's the word? How are you doing? Let me know. DM me. You can follow me or reach out to me on Instagram at CEO_emerge the magazine. I want to hear from you. So tell me how you stay productive. I know as a CEO, we need time to think through decisions, and then we have to execute because those decisions have to turn into realities that produce results. A CEO has to produce results. So as a CEO, we have to think about how we lead our company. Are we leading it towards growth or success? Or ultimate ruin? No pressure. There is no pressure on us, right? At the same time, we have to manage people and our personal life. So how do we get anything done? How do we, CEOs, stay productive? And productivity has many sides. So this is the time. Take out the pen and paper and write down these tips on how to stay productive. 1, don't get lost in meetings. Oh my gosh. We all have meetings after meetings after meetings. So if we have to go to these meetings, ensure they are efficient. Please have an agenda and have a purpose. 2, eliminate interruptions. So if you're in your office, close your door. Set specific times to check and answer your emails. Set boundaries. Sometimes you might have to turn your phone off, but try to eliminate as many interruptions as you can. And 3, create a routine and stick to it. So like what I do, I wake up, I read my devotions, I work out for the most part. I'm putting workout in quotations. Maybe clean a little because it's easier for me to do it in the morning than it is in the afternoon. Then when I get to work, I create a to-do list first thing in the morning, and we could totally go over to-do list creation in another like CEO corner because that is a task all in itself and an art. It's art to do that. Then I put times next to my task. Then I execute. So that's my routine. So CEOs, remember the word of the day is productivity. And I'm Tiffany Boyle, and that's my tip from the CEO Corner. Now, coming up, we will be speaking with a leading authority in music. His innovative style and aggressive focus has made him a household name. He has 24 years in the music industry and probably more. He started the one-of-a-kind event, Art of Noise. He is a distinguished member of the exclusive Heavy Hitter DJ crew. So next up is none other than DJ Lonnie B. I'm Tiffany Boyle, You are listening to Emerge here on WHOV. If you would like to partner with us and have your business spotlighted on the show, please contact us at emergethemagazine.com. We are here with DJ Lonnie B. Lonnie B, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. Thank you for joining us. As we are celebrating National DJ Month, we thought who better to speak to about being a DJ and all that's involved with being a DJ other than DJ Lonnie B. So can you tell us just, a little bit about yourself?
Well, my real name is Lonnie Battle. I go by DJ Lonnie B. I've been DJing now for 33 years. I've been on the radio for almost 25. Commercial radio probably like college radio and everything included, maybe like about 27. It's always been my life. It's been my passion. And I never thought that I would be in a position I would be able to provide for my family just being a DJ. So it's definitely been a humbling journey to be in a position that I'm in right now.
Nice. So how did you go from just starting to being like, I would say somewhat of a celebrity, definitely a well-known name in the music industry?
I think I focus more on just being good at what I do and versus chasing the fame. My plan was never to be in this position. I think I just wanted to be respected as someone who was passionate about the art. And I think with that, people started to appreciate the things that I did. And, granted, I started like 30 years ago. So some of the people that used to come hear me play was at the Recreation Center, J.L. Francis, and they were kids. Well, now they have kids that have come out. So there's like generations and generations of people over the past 3 decades that have grown with me. So I think that's what really made me, I guess, the household name that I've become, at least in my city. So I talk to a lot of young DJs coming up all the time, and I tell them, do what's in your heart, do what you love, and that will attract the people that appreciate you being you versus you doing what you think you got to do to capture another crowd. I think that's why I'm here.
It was crazy. Before we started talking, I was telling Tiffany, I'm like, Tiffany, I'm pretty sure I grew up listening to DJ Lonnie B on the radio. And where I live, we got 92.1 and 106.5. I'm like, I know. I've heard this name so many times. And my friends were like, we going to this event because it's DJ Lonnie B.
Yeah. See? I think I got on Power 92 back in 98. 1998 is when I started there. And again, as far as in the city of Richmond, I don't know if there's anybody that's been on one station in the city of Richmond longer than I've been there. But again, I've done so many weddings of people who said they wanted me to do their wedding because they grew up listening to me on the radio when they were in high school. So that's real cool.
Very, very cool. That is awesome. So how did you come up with concepts like Art of Noise and now taking it like to other places other than Richmond?
Honestly, you kind of go back to what I kind of said. I started off doing it because I loved it. I started to acquire fame from doing it because people liked the parties and things that I did. I found myself in a situation where I felt like I was doing what I needed to do at a certain point versus what I wanted to do. Mm-hmm. So my partner Danger Mouse said something to me one time when I was doing a party, my birthday party. He said, I'd never been to one of your parties that was so packed or felt so empty. And I was like, what do you mean by that? He said, look around. The party is packed, but these are none of the people that have supported you throughout the years, all the parties that you've done. And it dawned on me, they're not around because I'm not doing the things that they loved me for. I was doing the things I felt like I needed to do. So that's how the Art of Noise came about. I wanted to create a space where it's not about the money. It's not about the attention. It's not about how many people are there. I just want to go and play the music that I love. And the first Art of Noise was November 22nd, 2012. It was Thanksgiving night. And it was maybe 100 people there. People said it was one of the best parties they had been to in a while because if you think back to that time, everybody in the parties were doing the VIP sections, the bottle popping, and it really wasn't about partying so much as it was about looking good and just being in the section with your friends.
Right.
So all the noise actually gave people that feeling of going to a college gym jam or something, and that's just how it built. The first one was 100 people. The next one, it was maybe 150. Then we got to 300, and it just continued to grow. The biggest one we've done to date was on Browns Island, Labor Day weekend last year. It was 5,000 people out there.
Wow. Yeah. 5,000.
Yeah. And the other thing that I want to credit that to is all social media and word of mouth. Like, there is no radio advertising. There is no physical flyers. There is no TV commercials. It's all people enjoying it so much. They're telling their friends about it, or they're posting videos, and people are asking them, what is this party? When's the next one? Get my ticket. And, this is the 10th year of the Art of Noise. Come the week of Thanksgiving this year.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. Shayna, have you been to Art of Noise?
No, I'm happy you, Tiffany, because you're always going somewhere without me. And then I got to get on an interview to hear about the places you already been.
So I have only been to 2, but I heard word of mouth because a friend was like, have you been to Art of Noise? I was like, no. And then they were like, oh, you should go. And it's a lot of fun. Like, I'd probably hop up and down so much. Like, I probably didn't stop hopping. Like,
which one did you come to? Was it at the National?
I went, no, the one with the Yin Yang twins.
Yeah, yep.
And I forgot who was at the second one. Oh, is it Mystical? Mystical. Yeah.
Yeah. So the Mystical. So today we've, brought at least like 25 to 30 artists to the city. Mystical today is still one of my favorite performances. His energy and just the songs that he did was probably
right. Yeah, it was fun. But like you said, it's just like laid back. No one is like checking for anybody. You can wear what you want to wear, even though I still like to dress up just a little bit. I can't just go casual. But but yeah, we'll go to one. We'll go to one this year.
Yeah, sure. I think the next one is if y'all around Juneteenth weekend. That's the Red Man and the Method Man one. If y'all want to come, I'll make sure y'all good.
Absolutely. Method Man there.
Let me get up on my songs. I went to I was at the Club Love. Y'all remember Club Love in DC?
In DC, yeah.
Yes. And Method Man came out and I was so excited, but I only knew like 2 songs. I thought I knew way more, and I'm looking around like everybody's rapping all these words and I only know 2 songs. It was so fun. So I'm gonna get the words now.
Yeah, and their energy. Like, a lot of times when I've seen them perform a couple times, even as a DJ, they'll do things that I don't know, or things that I wouldn't expect them to perform, but their showmanship and the energy that they put into their show make me feel like, well, who cares? It's still a great show, so I'm gonna keep rocking.
Right. No, awesome. So if you're just tuning in, we are on Emerge, and I'm Tiffany Boyle with co-host Shayna Kemp Garnett, and we are celebrating National DJ Month with DJ Lonnie B, and he's just taking us back to listening to good music and good vibes. And we're probably telling our age right now with the stuff that we like.
Speak for yourself. I'm still young. I'm still vibrant.
So what is it about, like, everybody needs a DJ, and we were talking about when the world went virtual, DJs went virtual, right? Like, it's something that people need. So how do you create that atmosphere of people having a good time? And how do you determine what type of vibe that you need to provide?
Well, most DJs walk into a situation, or they'll walk into a room with the game plan. Like, this is what I want to do. But the most important thing is the ability to be able to read the crowd. So even though I can go in there and say, I'm going to play this, and this, when you look in the crowd, they might not be responding to it. So number one, you have to be able to read the crowd. Number two, I always tell DJs one of the most important things about DJing is music organization. Because if I see that this isn't working, I already have different playlists broken down. Well, let me go here. Let me do this. Let me do that. Anybody that knows me as far as my DJ career knows that I am probably the biggest DJ nerd when it comes to organizing music. And it's because I always want to be prepared for whatever situation you put me in. For instance, if I was DJing the class of 95's class reunion, automatically I know I can play anything from the year 91 to 95 because those were the years that they were in high school. And those were the songs that would give them, So that's another part. So when you put the music in your computer, you have to go through and make sure the correct dates are in there, because when I go to make the playlist from 91 to 95, if the date isn't in it, if the year isn't on the file, this is me being a nerd right now, but if the year isn't on the file, or if the file is from a compilation that came out later, that's the stuff that I sit down and say, no, I got to change this. So when I do find myself in those situations, I can just pull it all up.
Right. No.
Yeah. So a lot of people just think I just open my laptop and just go. Like, even today, I've spent all day listening to old mixes that I did on the radio 10, 15 years ago, because a lot of songs are out of sight, out of mind. And, you hear those things like, wow, I haven't played this in a long time. So, yeah.
Some of the things I recognize now, a lot of the newer songs, they're sampling the old songs. And so I'm listening, you hear the beginning part, and I'm ready to sing, and then you open your mouth and that's not the song because somebody's rapping over it.
Yeah.
I run into that a lot.
So what's crazy is there's a producer named Hitmaker. He's actually Young Bird from he was a rapper from back in the day. And he's probably one of my favorite producers right now, because he is replicating exactly what Puff Daddy did when he had his run. And what Puff did was, if you think in 95, he went back 10 years prior and sampled the Barge records. He sampled Diana Ross records and things like that, and created hits for Biggie. And well, right now he's doing the same thing for some of the newer artists. Like he sampled I Need a Girl, which isn't that old to us, but and the familiarity just makes it a lot easier to digest.
Wow. Gotcha. Well, we have had such an amazing time, and we hate for this to end, but we just have to. So I have two questions for you. The first question, let our listeners know about your Art of Noise event that's coming up, and how they can just find out more information and about that event and you.
Okay, well, you can follow me at DJ Lonnie B. That's DJ LONNIEB on Instagram, Facebook, all those things. And, there's all the information for the Art of Noise and all the things that I have coming up are right there. You can also follow Art of Noise RVA on Instagram. And, that's his own page for the brand.
Awesome. Not hard to do. I got my phone out. I'm about to follow right now. And my last question, we have to ask our signature question. And that is, what does the word emerge mean to you?
Emerge. Wow. Emerge. For me, even when I think of in a DJ world, like a lot of people, they will look at just a pool of just a whole bunch of, everyone looks the same, it's what am I going to do different to, emerge and rise above, these everybody else, to make myself, I guess, show the individuality or the originality that separates me from everybody else. So just emerging from everybody else, emerging from the norm. I don't want to be in the norm.
Love it. Love it. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you hopping on.
I appreciate the opportunity.
National DJ Month. Thank you so much.
Thank you. My pleasure.
I'm Tiffany Boyle. You are listening to Emerge here on WHOV. If you would like to partner with us and have your business spotlighted on the show, please contact us at emergethemagazine.com. We are going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we will make divine decisions with Dorothea.
You have a mission. It's no collision. Hold the phone. Don't text. You're angling to be next. Brothers and sisters, you won't see it coming. You're off the road. Your life explodes. It's not worth it. Don't do it. You only think there's nothing to it. Put it down, hang up, pay attention to highway action. Behind the wheel, there is no such thing as a small distraction. Join the conversation at decidetodrive.org, a public service message from the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons.
Welcome to today's lottery drawing. And today's winning numbers are not yours, not yours, and another number that's not yours. And the final number is not yours.
When it comes to having money, don't rely on luck. Brew your own coffee at home instead of buying that latte. brown bag it to work instead of ordering in. Go to feedthepig.org for more free ideas on how to save. Feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Gina Pemberton, president of the National Hampton Alumni Association. Our time is now. This is our moment to define what being a Hamptonian really means. At a time when the relevancy and impact of HBCUs is without question, it's absolutely critical that we all engage, work together, and give back to our home by the sea. Engaging as an alumnus means to join your local alumni chapter, mentor a current student, and donate regularly. Join your local alumni chapter now, logging on to NHAAINC.org. Keep Hampton's legacy strong for generations to come. Keeping you informed, we are Smooth 88.1 WHOV.
If there was ever a time to live united, it is now. Now is the time to speak with one voice, to build up, not tear down. It's time to join hands and live united against the problems that keep our communities from thriving. United Way fights for the health, education, and financial stability of every person in every community. Will you? Volunteer or donate now at unitedway.org.
This is a guided meditation on parenting. Take a deep breath in and let go of the time you and your son played basketball and you attempted to slam dunk. Or when you hit that piñata into your neighbor's yard. Let it go.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you. For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Welcome back. I'm Dorothea, and you're listening to Emerge on WHOV 88.1. It's National DJ Month, and Tiffany and Deshana just spoke with the king of the 804, Richmond's own, the legendary DJ Lonnie B. So, fun fact about me. My second home is Richmond. I lived there during middle school and also attended VCU. If you didn't already know, Lonnie B is Richmond and has ruled the airwaves for as long as I can remember. DJing at the dopest clubs and parties during my college years, and I could never forget the roll call as a teen. What's up, y'all? What's it gonna be? Who's on the line with your boy, LB? Well, my bad. I love to reminisce on the good times. And talking about a good interview, if you happen to miss it, it was definitely a classic. So you can check it out as well as our previous broadcast at www.emergethemagazine.com. So it's time for you to join me as we emerge together into our greatest potential by making a divine decision with Dorothea. We all navigate through the course of our lives based upon a series of decisions. The dictionary defines it as a conclusion or resolution reached after consideration. And divine means excellence. So we're making an excellent decision. Keeping those principles in mind, let's make the divine decision today to persevere. Perseverance is defined as doing something despite difficulty or delay in achieving success. When I think about perseverance and the feeling and experience in my life, I resonated to using all of my mental, physical, and emotional energy to go absolutely hard for or after something in order to further excel or achieve whatever it is I'm after. I think about the 5 a.m. cross-country practices in high school that I had to persevere through just in order to be in optimal running shape when the track season began. They called it conditioning. I remember the coach beeping outside my house at 4:30 a.m. Well, it was 17 years later that I remember having the realization of how it prepared me for the 5 a.m. cheerleading practices that I would in turn be coaching. I realized that it was also the foundation for me. Now that I was coaching, it was giving me the opportunity to also impart on them what I had learned myself. Most accomplishments in life come with the most resistance and sometimes even the most pain. There's a strong sense of ownership pride, and confidence that comes at the end of perseverance, when we've literally had to push to get to the other side. We face obstacles and encounter setbacks that discourage us, cause us to cast aside our dreams, and even question our purpose. This is exactly where we have to begin to persevere. And notice I said begin. Perseverance, remember, is success despite difficulty or delay. I've said before, a delay is not a denial. It can feel like that, but delay is just that, delay. So in the delay, what do? Persevere. You fight like there's 24 rounds and not 12. You climb that mountain as if there's a rainbow at the top that you get to touch when you get there. You run like there's a trail of fire blazing behind you. And most importantly, you believe in yourself, even if you're the only one. Why? Because it's the testing of our faith that produces perseverance. And so let us all run with perseverance, the race that has been marked out for us. So I challenge you, join me today by emerging into your best life and make the divine decision to persevere. Knowing this decision will ultimately shape and create a path that reflects a light of excellence in our lives. You're listening to Emerge Wednesdays on WHOV 88.1 iHeartRadio, and this has been another divine decision with Dorothea. And you can decide to be a part of our Emerge Wednesdays by submitting your response to our signature question. What does the word emerge mean to you? Share that with us on our IG at Emerge the Magazine. This week's response is from Kenya Hunt. When I think about the word emerge, I think about to come up from or to come out of something, to come into. Example, emerge into a new way of thinking. Emerge from your past and walk into your future. If that makes sense. Yes, Kenya, it makes absolute sense. And thank you so much for your response. And you can follow Kenya on her IG at DVNTRIO. Up next, a man, a DJ who needs absolutely no introduction, whose name in the 757 not only rings bells, but his voice has been projecting throughout our cars, homes, the clubs, whose holiday mixes have become legendary, and a DJ who I personally call brother. 103 Jams' own DJ B, aka Beesus. DJ B is a native of Philly, the city known for ill DJs, its love of music, and cheesesteaks. An accomplished turntablist, DJ B has been behind the ones and twos for over 20 years. From anywhere in the world, you can hear DJ B's The Block radio show. It kicks off its 18th year on 103 Jams' iHeartRadio platform. He also hosts The B Show on Richmond's 106.5 The Beat for the classics at Noon Mix. DJ B also appears periodically as a guest DJ on Sirius XM's Backspin. In 2010, DJ B launched Fresh Radio, an internet-based radio station that features and plays mixes from DJs and turntablists 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. He wants the normal ear to understand turntablism as an art form. I'm a turntablist, and I incorporate that into my set, in the clubs, on my mixes, and on the radio. It's important to develop a formula where you can please the masses, but still do you. So without further delay, it's Emerge Wednesdays. And here's Deshana and Tiffany with DJ B, aka Beesus.
Hello, you are tuned into Emerge Radio. I'm your host, Deshana Kemp Garnett, along with co-host Tiffany Boyle. And today we have the pleasure of sitting down with DJ B, a Philly native who has been repping VA Airways for over 15 years. Welcome, DJ B.
Welcome. Well, thank you. Welcome me. Appreciate you. Thanks for having me.
All right. So, DJ B, talk to us about how you got started with DJing.
I was always recording off the radio growing up, like just making tapes. And I was doing that in high school, like making tapes and selling the tapes. I wasn't even a DJ yet. And my aunt married this dude who first cousin was a DJ on the radio. He took me over to his crib. He lived around the house. And from there, he got me into DJing.
All right. So they just got you into DJing. And then from there, like, when you say got into, what were the steps?
Well, I was going over his house, and I kept getting him to make these tapes for me, and he started getting into real estate. So after that, he showed me what to do. He's like, you make your own tapes. And from that, like, I couldn't get off the turntable. You know what I mean? He had to stop me coming over there eventually because I kept wanting to learn to DJ. So eventually I started to hustle up my own equipment and, so I could practice on my own. And from there, I just started DJing. I fell in love with it.
Oh, nice. So it's kind of like a self-taught / someone else teaching you vibe.
Yeah, because, I came up in an era before there was videos showing you how to do it. So he showed me the basics, but really it was more of just being hands-on and just like when you're doing anything. I used to play basketball too. So the more you do things, the more natural it becomes. And It just became natural. Yeah.
Okay. So then what made you decide to turn it into like a business?
When I moved to VA, I ended up DJing at this club called the Mirage, the Nile Mirage in Newport News. And I still had a regular job. I still had a regular job, and the radio, people from the radio came there, and it was like, you want to be on the radio? That was Thursday. It's like, I never thought about it. So after that was a Thursday. Friday, it was like, come down. I came down, and Friday night I was on the radio.
Oh, wow.
So so this was 1997. And, I still was doing the clubs. I was still doing the radio. And, I started to learn the radio business part of it and just being on air. And it's 2022. And I left and came back, but I'm still on that same radio station.
Nice. So how did you market yourself to get into the clubs, to really grow your business to being this brand of DJ B that we know today?
The radio helped, but just really outside of, promoting myself with doing these events and parties and just really trying to kill every party I do. So you never know who's there. You know what I'm saying? So a person that could be there will hire you because they want their party like that. Or, somebody, a bigger promoter will be there to hire. So just really just being consistent and really just being myself and just constantly wanting to get better, constantly learning music, how to play music better, and just really being consistent. You know what I'm saying? So I learned the business of radio. I learned how to do radio. And then in 2010, I launched my own internet radio station. And that's where I'm at now, which is inside my record store, which is called Fresh Radio. So just really, I've always had an open mind and to learn things.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I always wanted to learn everything. If I'm doing something, I want to learn every part of that. So if something goes wrong, I would know how to adjust and help fix it, hopefully,
So you have, sorry, go ahead.
So you were talking about first you got into, DJing, you had someone making these mixtapes for you, learned it yourself. You were playing at clubs, you started on the radio, then you created your own radio, now you're in the record store. So is it safe to say that you have a really big love for music?
Yeah, I love music. You see it. If you're watching, you can see the records behind me. Yeah, I love music.
What's your favorite genre of music?
I love hip hop, the culture part of hip hop. And there's different branches under hip hop, but really probably soul and funk, because that's kind of the basis of everything to me, So, yeah.
I'm still one of them old school R&B people, so they can't get me.
Yeah.
Get me out of it. That's my get hype music.
I understand what they're talking about. I know what they're saying. I don't have to get hip on some new lingo. I'm here for all the old school music.
I can do karaoke in my car, all of it. I love it. I love it. All right. Well, if you are just tuning in, we are here with Emerge, and I'm Tiffany Boyle, along with co-host Shayna Kemp Garnett, and we are talking with DJ B, who has informed us he is a self-taught / someone else taught him how to be a DJ, owns a record store and an internet radio station. So that is pretty cool. So what exactly is an internet radio station?
So basically, streaming. It's pretty much streaming before it was easier to stream with, the platforms as that way you could stream music. So before that, it was like internet radio station. So basically, I program the station, I promote the station, the engineer of the station, all that. And basically, it's what I developed it because music started to change. I'm still on radio. So I've been on radio since 97. So, there was different changes from 97 to 2022. So around 2005, it was just getting, for me, it was getting very left with the music. The soul was missing from a lot of the stuff that the radio was playing. Music, it was always dope artists there, but the music to me, I was getting older. So the music, I wasn't really feeling it. And I wanted to preserve good music. So I was like, all right, stop complaining about it. And why not, do your part, your small percentage in preserving good music. So I launched my radio station.
Love it. Love it. Instead of complaining about the problem, you found a solution. What is the name of the radio station? How do we find it?
It is called Fresh Radio, and it's freshradio.com. All social media platforms at Real Fresh Radio, but you can stream it on your phone. I got apps for iOS. I got apps. I keep dropping my headphones, so y'all keep hearing that. Apps for the iOS, apps for Android. If you say, Alexa, I want my Fresh Radio, that might have set your Alexa off because Fresh Radio will play through any Alexa device. And you can also stream it. You can stream it on it's freshradio.com.
How cool. How cool. So it is National DJ Month. Tell us what it felt like when you first performed or DJ'd an event.
I'm shy. So I think one thing that helps me with crowds is actually DJing. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm comfortable behind the turntable. So once I start DJing, I'm good. I still even to this, I'm shy. You know what I mean? And I, even leading up to an event, and it's my event, I just want everybody, it's being a DJ, especially there's different types of DJs, but when you DJ an event, you got to understand, let's just use a random even number of 500. That's 500 different people, 500 different tastes in music, 500 different attitudes, 500 different moods that day. And your job is to get as many as possible on the same wavelength. So you're pretty much creating that whole entire atmosphere and making or helping people forget about their day, or when they resume with their normal day, being able to deal with that issue or have a better day, long story short. You know what I'm saying? So, and one of the best things in just humanity to bring people together is music. It separates people too. But I mean, I'm just saying, just as far as, getting people together in one room, I'm a big soul head. So, if I put on Stevie Wonder, you can't have a frown on your face if I'm playing by Stevie Wonder. How can you be upset and you're able to tackle the rest of the day with a positive attitude? So I love creating that. I love creating that atmosphere.
Awesome. So I think it's amazing how you've been able to kind of put your love and your passion for music and make really a career out of that in a business. A lot of entrepreneurs and small business owners that we talk to, they struggle. You have something you love and you're passionate about, but most people don't really understand how to translate that into their career or a business. So can you kind of just give some tips on what worked for you?
I don't know, it's tough because I was always myself. So I was basically just, you're supposed to like this artist because you're on the radio. And I'm like, I like music and I like what I like. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people trusted me as my opinion with music. You know what I mean? I'm just one person, obviously. But since I'm a big music head, a lot of people, trust in my opinion. I mean, I'm still doing it. And I'm blessed to be able to do it. So just translating it, making it become a business. It just happened. Like, I was like, yo, I really want to preserve this hip hop culture, the positive part of the hip hop culture. You know what I'm saying? There's no radio stations playing KRS or Tribe Called Quest or Dilla or Common, even, when he drops something. What radio station is playing Common? You know what I'm saying? So my station will play Common. And right. I can get away with playing Common at my event and make people understand it and like it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So with that, with events and just really with my record store, I'm Freshtopia, which is located in Norfolk, in Park Place on 35th Street. We sell vinyl, and we're one of 34 brick and mortar Black-owned record stores in the country. And I started selling vinyl because, a lot of the younger kids are into vinyl now, and I get to talk to them and explain to them, like, if an album came out, a lot of the albums didn't have a lot of skips because it took a lot of time to make this album. It took a lot of effort to make this album. So every song, for the most part, was quality because you put an album out. You know what I mean? You put an album on and you sit down. You want to get up and change it. But today you could just go to the next track. It's super easy. You know what I'm saying? And it's just a whole experience with reading liner notes, with looking at something physical and tangible, going with your music. So, vinyl has outsold any physical format, even CDs in the last, maybe like within the last 5 years. You know what I'm saying? So it's, I get to meet some good music lovers. You know what I mean? I get to look for records for people that's looking for records. So it's dope. So that's how I changed. It just happened. It was no formula. It was like, yo, I'm going to do this, and this is going to happen. I'm still trying to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? But it's really just me being genuine, me really love what I do and being blessed to be able to provide for my family or for something I love to do. That's a good goal in life. You know what I mean? If you find something that you love to do, stick with it.
It's a blessing.
You know what I mean?
Blessing.
It's definitely a blessing. And I recognize that. So I don't take advantage of that at all. You know what I'm saying?
I do miss the days of CDs, popping in a CD. Like, I remember because I had Brian McKnight. I could listen to all his CDs. Everyone, all the way through. I didn't skip it. I think Bruno Mars was another one when he first came out. Like, just listen to him all the songs. But now it's like Pandora, so I skip all over it. Like,
girl, I still have CDs. I found my CDs from college, and when I tell you, I had Jennifer Lopez on there and Ashanti, and I listen to go to work, and I'm hyped singing all these old songs that most people around me and I work with don't know, but I'm still flipping through my little book of CDs. So I still have them.
My daughter came home today and she said her friend didn't know who Tina Turner was. I was like, what? His parents didn't love him. Wait a minute.
Oh, wow. Yeah. And that's the thing, like, and so the excitement of learning about a new artist, I love doing that. Because, again, like I said, there's a lot of younger kids. Now, I'm sounding old, but there's a lot of younger people that's into buying vinyl. And you get to explain to them, like, yeah, Tina, there's a movie about Tina Turner. You can watch the movie if you want, but like Tina Turner was groundbreaking. You know what I mean? Like, and just doing the research on these artists. And it's even today, I learn stuff about music, about, artists every day. And it's just that excitement when you learn something new that you thought something. It's like, really, that happened? It's like, wow, okay. You know what I'm saying? So it's music, man. I love music. I love music. I love music.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. Well, you are tuned in to Emerge. I'm Tiffany Boyle, along with co-host Shana Kemp Garnett, and we are just reminiscing over good music with DJ B. So what was like your most favorite event you DJ'd?
I don't know. That's a tough question. I off top, I'm sure it's probably many more better than this one, but like off top, I do this New Year's Eve party called Sneaker Ball, where the last New Year's Eve party I DJ'd at, there was an issue. And the issue made me say, you know what? I'm done dealing with promoters. I'm going to do my own event. So my wife and I came up with Sneaker Ball. And even at that event, it was the New Year's Eve event. And I'm leaving this place and I'm seeing, you know, the lovely ladies that got all dressed up. And at the end of the night, they walking with their heels in their hand, uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yo, you know, my wife was like, let's do Sneaker Ball. Let's create Sneaker Ball. So basically, what Sneaker Ball is my New Year's Eve event where it's semi-formal, but you wear your sneakers. So you can wear your gown, you can wear your tux, but you rock your kits. You know what I mean? So one, you're being fashionably creative, and also for the most part, if your sneakers are comfortable, you know, at the end of the party, you know, you're walking out in your shoes with no foot problems. And I play classics all night. So that's the other thing. So I get to play what I want and I get to wear what I want. And where we've had this year would be our 11th Sneaker Ball.
Oh, awesome. So where do you
the last two we did it, we came back last year to you know, 2020 was virtual.
Right. So how was doing the virtual event? It was interesting to see all the DJs now doing virtual, like, but it was pretty cool how everybody kind of like, you still needed a DJ to like pump up the party, get the mood going. You know,
I mean, you can play. I mean, you could easily make your own playlist, right? It's just something about having somebody else do that for you. Is you know, that's kind of irreplaceable. But what made me think about, I mean, this is my 27th year in radio. So I'm used to DJing and nobody's there, pretending like somebody's there, if that makes sense, which is kind of the same thing as virtual. You know what I'm saying? Right. When I'm on the radio, there's people that I can't see I'm supposed to be entertaining. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of the same thing. So I was already pretty much virtual. And I was already DJing virtually anyway, streaming on Periscope and Facebook and Instagram before they shut it down. And then now Periscope is gone, but now I'm on Twitch. I'm on Twitch every day. So I'm still virtual in a way. Okay. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah. So
awesome. So what's one piece of advice you would give to someone who wants to become a DJ?
Love the music. Also practice. I used to play ball, and my basketball coach was either in junior high school basketball camp said practice is permanent, not perfect. There's nothing in this world that's perfect. So Steph Curry missed shots, but it's about the mechanics and about the consistency. And the more you practice, the more permanent that form is. So that's the same thing with DJing. That's the same thing with whatever you do in life, really. But with music and becoming a DJ, know your music, perfect your transitions from songs to songs, because when you're playing one song, you have to get to the next song and not disturb the groove. So learn how to mix that, you know, cutting and scratching and all that is pretty much extra stuff, but you need to learn how to mix and transition. You can't bake a cake without mixing the ingredients. You know what I'm saying? Candles and all that other stuff they're doing with cakes now is just extra stuff. But the necessity is really making the cake and mixing it. So I think that's important. Just practice, you know, practice with the songs that you love and then do research on, you know, do research on what your crowd like. You know what I mean? Learn your crowd. And if you're doing this type of parties with this type of crowd, make sure you learn what they into. You know what I'm saying? I do a lot of old school events. So my research is really just what's some of them old songs that get people moving, but not playing the same old songs that everybody else play all the time too. You know what I mean? There's so much music out there. It's unlimited. You know what I mean? It's B-sides of records that people love that people scared to play. I'm not scared to play them. If they dope, I'm gonna play it.
Nice.
Awesome. Now, before we let you go, I have 3 more questions. The first question, and I did not ask, where did the name DJ B come from?
My first name starts with a B. And playing ball, my name is Swahili, and I'm not going to tell you my name, but people had problems saying my name. That was probably your second question. People had problems saying my name. So, they just started calling me B on the court. So when I started DJing, it just became B, and it was always B with 2 E's. So, that's where that came.
Gotcha. All right. My next question. If people wanted to talk to you, find out more information, learn about when you're playing on the radio, what is your contact information, your website, your social media?
All right. You can find me social media. So is that a word? I just made up a word. Social media. You can find me on social at Beesus, the DJ. That's Beesus, the DJ. And pretty much all my other stuff is on itsfreshradio.com or freshtopiava.com. I'm also on, I work for iHeartRadio. So I'm on 92.1 The Beat in Norfolk, VA from 10 to 2 during the week, Monday through Friday, and then 103 Jams 2 to 6, Monday through Friday. And I'm on Fresh Radio every day. I do the Fresh Start morning show, 8 a.m. during the week. I mix for 2 hours, all classics. Office friendly for the most part. I try to keep it clean. And when I don't, I put a disclaimer out there and say, yo, this record is dirty, but I want to hear it.
Awesome. Okay, so my last question, I have to ask you our signature question, and that is, what does the word emerge mean to you?
The word emerged to me is wild because you know what? I never looked that word up. So I never saw a formal definition. So my definition of emerge is really not only exposing a talent or anything, but emerging it with life and how it could benefit somebody else. So basically what your show is doing is your show is, my definition of emerging talent, emerging businesses, emerging, just good people with the world in your audience. And I guess another word with that would be kind of like expose. I don't know. So that would be my definition. And that's probably not the definition of emerge. Just like social media is not a... Yeah.
Look, it's okay. It's whatever the definition means to you. That's why we always ask that question. We get so many different answers. So we always love to hear what everybody thinks.
All right.
I appreciate y'all letting me emerge.
Yes, we love it. It was great. Thank you so much for talking to us during National DJ Month. We really appreciate what you do. And I love, hearing about how you emerged, from a kid out in Philly. I love it.
Yeah. I emerged from Philadelphia to VA. And VA, thank you for accepting me and continuing to accept me as I emerged from the city of brotherly love.
You are listening to Emerge here on WHOV.
Did you just look down at your phone? You did it again, didn't you? You're flying down the road in a 3-ton hunk of steel, and a text takes your eyes off the road for an average of 5 seconds. At 55 miles per hour, that's long enough to travel the length of a football field and cause some serious damage. Turn it off. Trust me, whatever it is, you'll live.
Learn more at stoptextsstopwrecks.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Can I have your attention for a moment? Listen. Did you hear that? That was the sound of cancer cells being eradicated with proton beam therapy. If caught in time, a cancer diagnosis does not have to be a death sentence. It doesn't have to be painful, and it doesn't have to subject you to the many side effects of traditional radiation. The Hampton University Proton Therapy Institute invites you to live your life and let us fight your cancer with the most precise cancer treatment available. And now that precision is even sharper thanks to the addition of pencil beam scanning. PBS has treated over 1,800 patients and is only available in select proton facilities in the U.S. The actual treatment lasts 2 minutes or less. Remember this sound. A healthy, normal life can be yours again, cancer-free. Find out how. Call the Hampton University Proton Therapy Institute at 877-251-6838 now.
Today, we're going to talk about how to make our business make sense. And by sense, I mean that logically and sense as in coins. As employees, most of us are used to trading our time for money. We go to a job, we fulfill tasks, we finish projects, and then after a week end or maybe even two, we receive a paycheck. We gave our employer our time, and in return, our employer gave us money. That's not how it works all the time as a business owner and entrepreneur. In the beginning, we might not be compensated for all the time we spend working on our business. At times, and this is only for me, I felt like I was investing time in my business and I was not seeing any return on my investment. One of the things I had to sit down and do was to create a very detailed schedule for myself, and I had to develop business hours. During my business hours, I was intentional on focusing on the activities that would help generate income. I knew that on Tuesdays from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., I will be meeting with clients and prospective clients. Being a profitable business owner requires us to be organized and keep a schedule. Time is our most valuable resource. Wasting your time is just like throwing away money. I am Shana Kemp Garnett, and that's my 2 cents.
Emerge yourself.